Please tell me your name.
Goethe Verbova,
And your maiden name?
Sidon, born in Trnava on the 28th November 1926.
Well, I'm actually Gertrude Silman, but I'm known as Trudy.
And what was your name at birth?
It was Gertrude Feldmanova.
Where were you born?
I was born in Bratislava in Czechoslovakia.
I am Gertrude Friedman, born in Czechoslovakia, in the city called Piešťany, in April 1929.
Charlotte Bushel. That's my present name.
And your professional name? What did you use as a doctor?
Feldman. Dr. Charlotte Feldman.
Charlotte, and where were you born, please?
1924. Yes.
And where?
Bratislava, Slovakia.
Initially I wanted to become a film director, and then some members of my surviving families told me that it's too risky and that I should do something where I can earn my living. And medicine seemed something that was very, it was a profession where you can always get a job, and also it's something where you can help people. No, I did qualify, and then I went to do neurology. And I did about 2 years of neurology, and I was very disappointed because it was the whole profession was such that you were taught how to make a diagnosis, and you could do that quite easily, and that was quite exciting. But once you made a diagnosis, you couldn't do anything for the patient. And so I got very upset about that, and I went into full-time research.
What happened to you in England
when I came?
With the children?
Well, first of all, I was very surprised how bad the childcare was in this country. And I was also very surprised that there are many types of freedom, because the freedom for women in this country was much less than that in Czechoslovakia. So it was a big shock. I remember I went for a job interview at University College in 59 or 60, must have been 60. And I was pregnant with my first daughter. And this guy that interviewed me said that, well, you're very suitable for this job, but I can't give it to you because it wouldn't be fair to your child. And, you know, it was this sort of thing that you would never have expected anywhere else. But I was very lucky because one of my colleagues, who was a very important person and was a Nobel Prize winner, he liked my work, and so he got me a lot of help for getting a good job. And my research was mainly how nerves and muscles interact with each other and what happens when this interaction breaks down. And I had a lot of female PhD students, because they all came to me because it was sort of role model, because there weren't many sort of women scientists. So I had, most of my PhD students were women.
How do you think your life, or do you sometimes think how it would have been different if the Holocaust hadn't happened?
I probably wouldn't have studied medicine. I probably would have become a film director or something. I would have gone another way because I would have stayed at home and I would have had the background and more security, so I would probably have done something different, and I think my life would have been different in that sense. But I'm pleased I did science, because that was very exciting.
Yes, yes.
Because I had this county major scholarship and always have to do things the difficult way. I'd wanted to do medicine, and my aunt and uncle, the Telchers, who were now in America, felt that that was far too long a training and they wouldn't give me permission to do that. So I wanted to find the nearest thing I could, and I found a special honours course in biochemistry, which was 4 years anyway. I don't think they realised that. So I enrolled, and this was a brand new course. It was the second year, and there were 5 of us. I was the only girl with 4 fellows. I did a year, by which time it became evident that Norman and I were thinking of getting married, and Norman is appreciably older than I am. And he said, well, you'll have to make up your mind. You either study or you get married. You can't do both. And it was a very big decision to do, because my brother and sister felt I should continue my studies. But I decided I'd been rootless for 10 years. I needed some security, and I thought Norman would be that for me. So I did another 3 months, in other words, into my second year, and then we got married in December 48. Of course, I went back to study when after I'd been home 5 years. I felt I had to study. I couldn't. Coffee mornings and kids and things just wasn't right for me. So I started again, went back, and no one had to pay this time. So he subsidized me, and I qualified in 58. I then wanted to do more, and I then worked as a research assistant. I then went to the university, and I did a couple of years of research and got a master's, and that's how it went on. Decided to go to what was then Leeds College of Technology as a lecturer in biochemistry. And I stayed at the college, which eventually became Leeds Metropolitan University, and I ended up as a principal lecturer in biochemistry. But I was always basically teaching medical biochemistry to people like dietitians and medical scientists.
Do you think that your experiences have affected you psychologically in any way?
You shouldn't ask me a question like that, because to me, psychology, biochemistry, chemistry, and life is one and the same thing. Your thought processes are chemical and electrical. I don't believe in psychology put in that way. Had you put it the other way, I would have answered you, yes, it's got to have affected me. Because under stress, you have different developments in your brain, you have different attitudes. And my answer is absolutely.
In Prague,
Yeah.
what were the difficulties that you encountered before you were accepted, and what did you study there under the communist regime?
Yes. Yes. But the
From
only
48.
difficulty was the exception, to accept the examine what they had, the examination, better say. Yeah? How they looked in the papers, what was your father doing, if he was a capitalist or not, or anti-communist or not. And this was not in our case. So when this was once solved the problem, they didn't ask anymore.
What did you study?
No, this medicine. General medicine first, and then I specialized on stomatology and orthodontics, and this was very good because it was something what I could do, not with a big group, and I had my peace, because not everybody wanted to do it.
And you specialized with children?
Yes,
Yes.
yes. And the surgery, mouth surgery also. So I had good nerves from the wartime. I was not losing my nerves so fast, what was very important, because the patients were nervous and were afraid always. And for example, we opened in the morning the door of the surgery and in the waiting room you could see only heads. There were so many people. We had daily 60 patients in an average. Once we had 90 patients, this was a record. When the patient came in, the ordination or in the room, yeah. So they set him in the chair, and then I came. I washed meanwhile my hands, and then I came, and the patient said, "And where is the doctor?" I said, "I'm sorry, but that's me. You must accept it." And
those days, there weren't many women. I had an interview with the dean of the Leeds Medical School, and he was a great supporter of Czechoslovakia, and everything fell into place.
You knew, Charlotte, that you wanted to work. Your career was important to you.
I beg your pardon?
Your career was the number one important thing for you.
Yes, it was the anchor that really kept me going.
You think it helped you? Psychologically, emotionally also?
Yes.
And to have your team around you in the hospital, to have your support network in your staff.
And you became a consultant rheumatologist?
She also, now I'm right, you qualified as the National Health Service was founded. So you have been a doctor for the same amount of time that the NHS has existed in 1949.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Charlotte, what would your message be for women today about careers and marriage? What would you tell them? What should people do?
What should people
What should
do?
women do about careers and marriages? What's your message for?
You had 3 children and a career and 2 husbands.
$30 million question.
It is. Any advice?
You have to be tough. But it is all right if you persevere